Hey guys, what's going on? So, Trapper is currently in the game, and it currently got talents. And I didn't really want to talk about this prior to the update coming out because I wanted to wait to see where this would fall, like, in practice. I always talk about something that sounds good on paper, and then in practice, like, how does it actually work? And now that I've played a couple of games with it, I haven't used the right side because from everybody that I see in high level, like legendary, worldwide, legendary league, literally everybody is playing all left side. Everybody. It's except for this guy. But he lost. So, everybody that wins. Including this guy that lost. I don't know. Most people are playing all left side. And I can understand why. And I'm going to go through it. But I will say, for everybody that is the too long, didn't want to watch, Trapper is worse. But it is better than everything else, so you're still going to use it. And that's how I feel about it. It's not as good as it used to be, because what it used to be was incredibly simplistic without any talents, and it was better. And now it has all of these random things that it does, and I don't think that it doesn't make up for the simplicity and the effectiveness of what it used to be, as just a regular level 15 no talents. Because obviously I was using Trapper a lot, and I feel like before you kind of had the ability to get away with like having one Trapper on the field and it was fine. You got like a reasonable amount, like spread out over the board. But with this, you kind of need two, maybe even three, but probably two. And so the major difference is the idea that at level 15, the armor destruction is 40%, but the max armor destruction is 80%. I believe the max armor destruction before was 120%. I think it was like 60% regular trap, but if you had two traps on top of each other, the maximum was 120%, so it doesn't go above that. You could have like three traps on a thing on the same spot, and it wouldn't go into 180%. That's what it means by max. So per trap, currently it is 40% armor destruction, and then max, the armor destruction is 80%. The other thing that changed is that Trapper now has a mana activation, where it actively throws a trap. All of your trappers throw a trap to the first thing on the lane. So if you have a phantom and you do the mana activation, it'll throw it onto the phantom. If you have monsters going, like through your lane, once you activate it, it throws all the traps to the front. And that's what I mean when I say that you need two, maybe three. Because if you have two, they will both throw it, and then you'll get the maximum armor destruction immediately. But the maximum armor destruction being 80% and not 120% is a big difference. I didn't think it was a big difference when I knew that was going to be a change, because you're getting so many other talents. But the problem is the other talents don't really equate to the rest of that amount of loss. Now, anybody starting today, anybody starting tomorrow, anybody starting a month from now will not know the difference. In the same way that same person that starts a month from now will never know Book of Secrets, so complaining about, the season pass used to be so good, like, it doesn't even have Book of Secrets. It doesn't even have star coins. It doesn't even have guaranteed star coins. You don't even remember the glory days of guaranteed star coins. That person will never know how good it used to be, but you still buy the season pass because it's still a good value. That's kind of how I feel about Trapper. You're still going to use Trapper because it's not better than a chemist. You're still going to use it because it's not better than a sharpshooter. It still does enough to where it's better than those things. It's just not better than what it used to be. Because another reason why it used to be better, I believe, is the trap duration. Originally, your mana power-up was to allow the traps to stay on the field for longer. Now, I don't remember what the trap duration was before, but currently it is always 8 seconds, and that's it. It's just traps stay on the field for 8 seconds and then they disappear. Now, the reason why that's important is because however fast your trappers throw traps, and the activation interval is 5 seconds. So it'll throw a trap that'll last for 8 seconds every 5 seconds. And I don't know if that's great. The idea that it will only throw one trap every 5 seconds and that trap will last 8 seconds, I think you're going to see a lot less traps on the board. But you do have obviously the mana activation, but then that becomes a thing that you now have to monitor. It just becomes another thing, another cooldown that you have to monitor, because the cooldown on your your mana activation of auto throwing a trap is 20 seconds, and so it's one of those things that what they're doing is they're selling you back the simplicity of what it used to be. You can still probably do all the things that you used to do, but now you have to jump through all these hoops. As a comparison, if we wanted to look at like a chemist, right? It's like if chemists decided to get talents, the max armor destruction on a chemist, the max armor destruction on a chemist is 58 plus 6, 64%. If that's correct, it's 64%, right? 64% is the maximum armor destruction on a chemist if you had it at rank number 7, right? It would be like if they gave talents to a chemist and the armor destruction on a chemist starts at 0, and every time you merge a chemist, it gains a armor destruction of 1% up to a maximum of 64% as the chemist's max talent. And you had to, and it has to be a level 7 because it also is it's a percentage that is equivalent to it has a what's it called? It gains a bigger percentage the closer it is to a level 7. Like if it's a level 7, it is a full 1%. Each charge is a full 1%. So once you get to 64 charges, and it's a level 7, it'll do 64% armor destruction. But if you have a level 1 and you have 64 charges, it'll do like 20% armor destruction. But it's only a maximum of 64 charges and it doesn't go above that. And then it has another talent that, it has the ability to spray 2 monsters instead of just 1. And then it has another talent that is when you press your mana activation, it automatically coats the field. It's like all these things that don't matter, because it will always just hit the first thing and then move on to the next thing, right? And then they're selling it back to you in talents. And then at the end of the day, it's just the same thing. It's like that. But now let's say this entire scenario, but it's 64 charges and it only does 30% maximum armor destruction if you have a level 7. That's what Trapper feels like. It feels like, even though it has all of these random unique talents, like Sure Kill, the Huntmaster has a 30% chance to throw a man trap again. This is the better one because it has the ability to throw 2 traps, and obviously throwing 2 traps and stacking them will give you the full benefit of 80% armor destruction. So that is the better one. But throwing 2 traps, that's kind of what the old Trapper did. It just threw more traps, and now you have to have a talent that gives you a percentage of throwing more traps. You definitely don't want to use geared up. It increases the radius of the trap, but it's better to just throw more traps onto the field. Sheltered is the better of the two things. A lot of people will look at this and be like, yeah, but you can get a blazing burn. Yeah, but most of the time you're going to get a tough guy that will literally do nothing to your opponent. Yes, you can have a blazing burn, and yes, one of their things might go down, but I don't think the 33% chance is high enough for that to ever matter. In fact, you could probably have this have been a guaranteed blazing burn, and I still don't think it would matter. I still don't think people would choose this unless you were running a toxic deck. Then you would totally put this in your deck. But in the current state of what it is, at a 33% chance, tough guy is going to do nothing to them, and then the 33% chance of maybe getting a blazing burn is not better than a guaranteed chance of adding 15% armor to their monsters. That's just better. And sometimes you can just straight up kill them when they're going to like almost defeat a boss, and then you can shelter the boss like right before it's about to go into the gate, if they're about to kill it. That's like a strategy that you could also use. The bolus really doesn't do anything. Linked monsters transfer 10% of the damage received to each other, and then you stun a boss for 2 seconds. It's not good. If you are linking two bosses, it's because you haven't killed a boss and you're going to die. So if you start linking bosses, I mean, unless you're running like a Banshee deck, I know that this would be really good for Banshee. I don't know if, does this... it's not, the Banshee deck doesn't even run this, and that would be the best usage of it because that's when you want to link monsters. But in every other deck, if you link bosses, it's because you're dying. It's because you have 3 bosses on your field and you haven't even killed the first one. That's a bad thing. That's not a benefit of Trapper. And that's the max Trapper talent, and this is it at max. It's not great. But are you going to use it? Yeah, you're still going to use it. You're still going to use a level 15 Trapper when you get it. You're still going to use it. It's still going to be good. It's still easier than trying to level up a Chemist to 7. That's incredibly difficult. And even when you do it, you're getting 54%, whereas this is giving you 80%. So it's still better. I'm just saying that if you know what Trapper used to be, it's definitely not as good as it used to be. But, the season pass isn't either, and you still buy that.